Hello, kids! How are you today? Welcome again to my English class. It's me, Teacher Hazel. So, for today, in this lesson, we are going to talk about the identification of significant details in text. By doing this, you are able to understand what you read. Noting significant details. In this lesson, you're going to note or identify significant details of various text types. Let's get kids and let's have a look at the pictures. What is happening to them? Achoo! Yes, they are sneezing. Very good. We call that action sneezing. So, let's read about that. Achoo! By Cynthia Sherwood. We all sneeze sometimes. Sneezing is a reflex that your body does automatically. That means you cannot make yourself sneeze or stop one once it has started. When you sneeze, your body is trying to get rid of bad things in your nose, such as bacteria. You have extra germs when you have a cold, so you sneeze a lot more. You might also sneeze when you smell pepper. Inside your nose, there are hundreds of tiny hairs. These hairs filter the air you breathe. Come on, let's check if we have those hairs or tiny hairs in our nose. Can you feel that, kids? Of course, we all do. Now let's continue. Sometimes dust and pollen find their way through these hairs and bother your nasal passages. The nerves in the lining of your nose tell your brain that something is invading your body. Your brain, lungs, nose, mouth, and the muscles of your upper body work together to blow away the invaders with a sneeze. When you sneeze, germs from your nose get blown into the air. So you remember, that's why we have to cover our mouth when we sneeze. Let's continue. Using a tissue or sneezing into your sleeve captures most of these germs. It is very important to wash your hands after you sneeze into them, especially during cold and flu season. Do you ever sneeze when you walk into bright sunlight? About 25% of people experience this phenomenon. Scientists believe that the brain gets confused when signals from the optic nerve trigger the sneezing reflex in direct sunlight. This usually runs in families. If someone nearby sneezes, remember to tell them, Gesundheit. That is a funny looking word which is pronounced Gesundheit. It is a German word that wishes someone good health after sneezing. And for us Filipinos, we usually say, bless you. Now, let's answer some questions about the story. Note details by answering the questions below. So you're going to write your answers in your drill board. Number 1. Which parts of your body work together when you sneeze? Now let's check your answer. Yes, the brain, lungs, nose, mouth, and the muzzle of your upper body. Question number 2. What does the German word Gesundheit mean? A. I wish you good health. B. I wish you God's blessings. C. I wish you a good day. Or D. I wish you would stop sneezing. What is your answer? It's letter A. Number 3. Why do some people sneeze when they walk into bright sunlight? That is the answer. The brain gets confused when signals from the optic nerve trigger the sneezing reflex in direct sunlight. Now, look at the picture, kids. What is that animal? Very good. That is an owl. So we are going to do learning task number 2 this time. Let's read. My name is Jerry. I am an owl. Have you heard an owl hoot before? I have a big face and large eyes. I have strong legs and sharp claws called talons. I have big wings and soft feathers. I sleep during the day and hunt for food at night. I like to catch rats. I can see and hear things that are very far away. I have a very special feathers that allow me to fly without making a sound. Did you know that a baby owl is called an owlet? My home is in a nest in a tree. How about you? Where do you live? Yeah, of course we live in our home. So now, let's answer questions about Jerry. So you're going to choose the correct answers and write your answers again in your drill board. Jerry is looking at you. So let's answer. Who is Jerry? A. An owl. B. A robin. C. An eagle. D. A sparrow. It's letter A. Number 2. What are his claws called? A. Toes. B. Nails. C. Talons. D. Fingers. The answer is letter C. Good job. Let's go to number 3. What does Jerry like to catch? A. Hams and sandwiches. B. Fish and chips. C. Pizza. D. Rats. Write your answers. And here we go. The answer is, of course, letter D. Very good, kids. Number 4. What is a baby owl called? A. A hen. B. An owlet. C. A calf. D. A piglet. The answer is letter B. Wow, you are doing well, kids. Now let's go to the next page. So, you're going to choose again the letters of the correct answer, and just the same, you are going to write your answers in your drill board. Number 5. What does Jerry do during daytime? A. He sleeps. B. He hoots loudly. C. He hunts for food. D. He cleans his feather. The answer is, let's find out later. Let's answer number 6 first. Why are Jerry's feathers special? A. They don't make a sound. B. They are shiny. C. They are soft. Or D. They are heavy. So let's check your answer. Number 5 is he sleeps. And in number 6, letter A, they don't make a sound. Good job, kids. Wow, look at her. She's so pretty. Now let's do learning task number 3. Let's read about her. Hi, my name is Jessa. I am 10 years old and I live in a small house in Santo Angel. I have a wonderful family whom I love very much. There are 6 members of my family. My grandparents, my parents, I, and my brother. My grandfather is a very wise man who gives us great advice in every situation. My grandmother is a talented cook and a kind woman. My father is a farmer who has fed a lot of people in our barangay. My mother is a vegetable seller. She is always there for us, and I am grateful to her for this. My brother Tristan is 6 years old, and we get along very well. This is my family, and I am proud of them. Now let's check if you understood the story of Jessa. Let's answer, kids. And here are the questions. So you are going to write your answers in your notebook, and we will get back to that later, okay? Alright, now let's go to the next page. Details are very small pieces of information that support the main idea. They tell something about people, events, things, time, objects, circumstances, situations, and manner. And there are two types of details. We have the explicit and implicit. So first, let's talk about implicit. Implicit details are used to describe or define a general state. These are the details that we can't really see. These are the details that are implied but not easily expressed. It is like hidden. It has a hidden meaning. Now let's have this example. Tears ran from Tina's eyes as she looked at her sick mother. Now, by reading this sentence, how does Tina feel? Yes, she is very sad. What made you think that Tina is very sad? It's because very good. Tears ran from Tina's eyes. Okay, so that is an example of implicit detail. How about an explicit detail? Explicit details are the specific details that we can see and are measurable. These details are stated clearly, or in other words, it is very obvious. Let's have the example. Tina felt so sad as she looked at her sick mother. Now, if you can see the difference of these two sentences, you will understand what I mean. In the first example, it's not stated that Tina is sad, but it is described how sad she was. In the second sentence, it is stated the word so sad is there. Do you understand, kids? Of course you do. All right. So now let's go to the next page. Let's have more examples then. Implicit and explicit. Number 1, for implicit, Marcus' eyes grew bigger. He was smiling wildly and was also jumping when he received that toy car from his dad. Explicit. Marco was very happy when he received that toy car from his dad. Can you see the difference, kids? In the first example, under implicit, it is described how happy Marco was. His eyes grew bigger. When you're very happy, your eyes grow bigger, right? And you smile so widely. And you also jump with joy. That means he is really very happy. In the second part, or in the explicit part, it's clearly stated there. Very happy. Okay? Number 2 example. The employees are running and shouting as they move out of the office. Suddenly, a sound of explosion is heard from inside the building. Now, let's see explicit. The employees are scared as they move out of the office. Suddenly, The bomb exploded inside the building. So in the first example, kids, under the implicit part, you know that the employees, you can sense, you can feel that the employees are scared because they are running and they are shouting. And you can also feel that something happened because of the sound of explosion. But it's not clearly stated there what was it. While in the second example, it's clearly stated that they are scared. The word scared is there, and the bomb exploded. Yes, that is very clear. Alright, so in the third example, I can't take my eyes away from that beautiful doll. That is under implicit. Explicit, I like that beautiful doll. So look at the third example under implicit, guys. If you really like something, you can take your eyes on it. Right? You can take your eyes away on it, which means that you really like the doll. It's not stated in number 3 that you like the doll, but it is understood because of the word, I can't take my eyes away from it. In the third example under explicit, the word like is clearly stated there. So you see, class, these are two types of writing and it's both correct. Either you're going to write an implicit detail or explicit detail. Now, I know you can sense or you already know how to identify the implicit and explicit. If you have any questions, you can just message me and ask me, okay? Or you can write down under the comment box. Alright, so let's go to the next page. Noting details is a reading comprehension skill that involves picking out details from a piece of text information to achieve a given purpose. These details are the ones that good readers notice and authors use to emphasize the events and characters and other details in text. We have two basic types of text. The first one, it's informational or factual text. It informs, instructs, or persuades readers by giving facts and information. Its purpose is to describe a place or thing using facts. It retells events which may have already happened in time order. Or it classifies, describes, and gives factual information about people, animals, things, or phenomena. It also gives instructions on how to make or do something. So what are these informal or factual texts? What are the examples? Informational or factual texts are these. I want you to look closely at the pictures, and here are the examples. Okay, so the first one is a magazine. Magazine called Parenting. The second one, Encyclopedia. Yes. And the third one, the books that you use in school. These are informational texts or factual texts. And the things you read in the newspaper. Because the newspaper states facts. Yes. These are factual texts. And of course, oh, look at that. Recipes of the Philippines. So that is a cookbook. So this one gives instructions on how to do something. So these are examples of informational text or factual text. Now, how about the second one? Number 2, it's the literary text. Literary text entertains or elicits an emotional response by using language to create mental images. It usually affects the reader's emotion. You react. Sometimes you feel sad about what happened to the characters of the story you are reading, or sometimes you feel happy. Sometimes you feel scared for them. So that elicits emotional response. Okay? So literary text purpose are to describe people's characters, places, events, and things in an imaginative way. It retells events from novels, plays, films, and personal experiences to entertain others. So the main purpose of this literary text is to entertain. So it has a purpose of telling a story. So what are these literary texts? I'll give you an example, or I'll give you examples. Now look at that. What is that? It's called All Things Bright and Beautiful. This is one of my oldest and the first poem that I have learned in elementary. So this is an example of a poem. Poems are literary texts. Next. Oh, can you see that? It's the book series of J.K. Rowling. It's Harry Potter. Yes, that is a literary text. And of course, who's that? Who wouldn't know that? It's Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Fairy tales, stories, these are literary texts. Alright? Now, let's go to the next page. What is that? Are you familiar with this? Oh, we'll find out later. So, we're going to do learning task number 4. Read this selection and note details by answering the questions below. So you're going to write your answers in your notebook. It's uwang and salagubang. So this one, the moving picture here, is the uwang. And the second one, on top of the picture, is the salagubang. Uwang, or rhinoceros beetle in English, is one of the few beetles called by name in the Philippines. Other beetles are referred to as salagubang, the generic Tagalog word for beetle. Although we can see various pictures of rhinoceros beetle online, nothing can compare to seeing one up close and personal. From experience, I can tell you that if one gets on your clothing, it's really impossible to get rid of easily. That means you cannot remove easily. The variety found in the Philippines is the Asiatic rhinoceros beetle. They may seem formidable and vicious, but appearance can be deceiving. They have sharp claws, as you can see there, and those claws can only hurt you if you get pinched by them. Ow! Other than that, they are practically harmless. They also have horns, and there is a difference in length depending on whether it's a male or female. From what I understand, it's the strongest insect in the world. I'm not willing to test the assertion. So that is uwang and salagubang. So here are the questions about that. Let's answer. And of course, kids, just the same, you are going to write your answers in your notebooks, and we will get back to that later. Okay? So here are the 5 questions about uwang and salagubang. Now, do not forget this, which means you should remember. Details are small pieces of information that support the main idea. They can either be implicit or explicit. One of the important skills needed in understanding details is known as noting details. That is what we did today. Noting details is a reading comprehension skill that involves picking out from a piece of text information to achieve a given purpose. Text information may be taken from either informational, factual text, and literary text. So there you are. You did a great job today, kids. So good luck for answering or in answering those questions. We will get back to those later. So I'll see you again next time. Have a great day. Goodbye. God bless.